The New England Patriots get good and bad injury news ahead of their Week 2 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. Let's jump into it. You guys already know this is Sports Talk Patriots. Do me a favor before we really get started. Hit that subscribe button, like, and comment below. Today we're going to be talking about injury reports, the big ones, the bad ones, whatever it is. We're talking injuries as well. We're going to be talking a little offensive line when it comes to the Patriots. And at the end, we got a nice, awesome story when it comes to New England Patriots. And I think this is going to be something that potentially can catch on pretty quick with the fans. So stay tuned for that. Now, as it comes to the injury report, now you're going to say, Aaron, you should never say it's good when someone on the other team is injured. Yes, you're right. I'm never wishing ill will on anyone, especially K9 over here, because he's a Spartan. Go green. But anyways, when it comes down to it, if he's not playing in the game against my team, I guess you could call it good news. When you are clearly one of the best players on your team, it's not a bad thing. So Kenneth Walker, as you know, left early from the game against the Denver Broncos. He had an abdominal injury. There we go. We said it right. Abdominal injury. So he left early from the game. Before he left, he was 20 carries, 100-ish, just over 100 yards, and a rushing touchdown. And so solid numbers. Did a pretty good job. Again, we talked about yesterday that the Seattle Seahawks did not abandon the run. You look at the Broncos, and their offensive numbers were just everywhere. They were trying to get Bo Nix to throw it all over Kingdom Come. It wasn't working. Didn't try to solidify a rush game. It was a disaster. Seattle Seahawks end up coming back, really laying the foundation to a rushing game. Boom, win the game. Dubs for them. But they go into Gillette this week for the Patriots' first home game, and the big question is K9 going to play? So comment below, what do you think? Usually the precedent is if you that first day of practice going into, so week 2 practice or first practice of the upcoming week, if you're not in it and you're still injured, usually it's not necessarily looking good for you. So a lot of people are speculating that he might not play, or it might be a game time decision. So again, it's only week 2, so I would err on the caution of, hey, they're coming into this game against the Patriots, much like the Bengals did, thinking, it's the Patriots. Everyone says they're trash. Whatever. So now I think it's a possibility they do that. If that is the case and they jump to running back number 2, Zach Charbonnet, I can never say his name right. He went to Michigan, I never say it right. And then he went to UCLA, something like that. Whatever. Someone can correct me. That's fine. Again, I'm not an English teacher. I teach PE. So he was 8 of 12 yards, 8 carries, 12 yards rushing. Did have a 30-yard receiving touchdown out of the backfield. I believe it was a wheel route. Can't remember exactly, but that being said, he's not a bad running back, but he's not Kenneth Walker. So, for the New England Patriots, that would be, in my opinion, good news. That is one less offensive weapon you have to deal with. Just like last week, not dealing with T. Higgins, potentially this week, Kenneth Walker would be pretty good news. So that's the first thing. Comment below, what do you think of that whole situation? You think he's going to play? Is he trending towards playing or not? We'll see. What do you think? Next, we're talking offensive line. So, starting practice, the starting offensive line for practice, something that shouldn't surprise anyone. At left tackle, low left guard, Michael Jordan, MJ. After winning his 6 rings, he decided he wanted to come play for the New England Patriots, not at any specialty position, but at left guard. So good for Michael Jordan. Center, David Andrews. Right guard, the rookie, Layden Robinson, and then at right tackle, the big dog, Mike Nwenu. Now, we look at this offensive line. They played last game. It started with Okorafor. He got benched for Low. So what's funny is you look at this whole thing, Michael Jordan literally was put back on the practice squad. City So, that is the other tidbit of the bad side of the injury report, is City So still not sure about his injury and what is to come for him. But again, I say bad news, but in my opinion, it's not necessarily bad news. Michael Jordan went in there and showed us that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm not incompetent, and hey, I can play football at a high level. So Michael Jordan, I think, proved a lot of people wrong. I think this offensive line proved a lot of people wrong. Now, I had someone throw out the fact that the Bengals only pressured the New England Patriots, so we're talking blitzes, other stuff like that, 51% of the time. Now, sure, that's true. Again, they only gave up one sack, and at the end of the day, it's on the Bengals. If you're like, hey, we are going to exploit this offensive line and you don't, you're a bunch of idiots. Like, what are you doing? If you're like, we've been talking all offseason. What's the biggest question mark? The offensive line, the offensive line, the offensive line. Apparently, there one or two things, or they both can be true. One, the offensive line isn't bad. It's serviceable, and it can do what needs to be done to move the ball. Simple as that. Also, two, it's true that the Cincinnati Bengals, when it came to their defensive prep, was just trash. But again, I'm leaning towards the fact that the offensive line is better than what people think. Michael Jordan, he's going to be moved up to the active roster. I don't know who's going to be dropped for him, but I think it is going to happen, especially if he starts again and has a good game. Remember, you can only do a standard elevation from the practice squad up to 3 times. After that, you have to put him on the active roster. Listen, after week 1, I'm like, hey, man proved himself. Now, obviously, they think City So is a better player. Understand that. Totally understand that, especially after last year, how he played. Young player, some potential there, obviously. So, but again, Michael Jordan, if he has another good week, hey, cook, brother, Get him on that roster. So again, not bad news, not awful news, but again, the thing I like is consistency on the offensive line. Consistency. Let's get some rapport with these guys. Let's get some more snaps under our belt as this number 1 offensive line, and then I think with time it will only get better. So, last but not least, we're going to jump into this almost like a battle cry, it looks like, or a rally cry from the New England Patriots. I thought this was awesome. So apparently during the game, they at times were saying, take them to the hills, which is a reference to a conditioning hill that has been in the Patriots organization for years, that they've done sprint workouts, hill workouts. If you've never done a hill workout, if you're like, listen, Aaron, running and sprinting, that is in my past, or simply put, it's not for me. Every once in a while, I still got that dog in me, and I'll do some hill sprints, but they suck, If you know who David Goggins is, who's going to carry the boats, gets you motivated, gets you running up, and it's a doozy. But it's one of those things, I think, during this game, they talked about how, against the Bengals, that apparently they could tell in the huddle, like, hey, we're in better shape than them. We're doing better than them. Let's take them to the hill. Let's show them what's up. And I think that's awesome. Again, we talk about Gerard Mayo. I truly believe I've seen a lot of people comment this. He's a player's coach. There is a culture that is being created in the New England Patriots organization post Bill Belichick, and it is a good thing. And I think that this team can be special this year. I think they can surprise a lot of people. Again, could they make the playoffs? I'm never going to say never. Lloyd Christmas, you're telling me there's a chance. Listen, they beat the Bengals. A lot of people are like, they're going to get smoked by the Bengals. Vegas said they're going to get smoked by the Bengals. And what happened? What happened? You never know. That being said, I think this stuff like this right here shows, hey, the culture, the environment in that locker room, it's great, and I love it, and there's leaders stepping up, and I love to see it. What do you guys think? Comment below on that. Just a feel-good story as a fan. So that being said, this is Sports Talk Patriots. My name's Aaron. Before you head out, do me just one last favor. If you haven't already and you've seen a billion of these videos, or maybe this is just your first one, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Hit that little like, thumb up, boom, and comment below. Again, as always, you've heard me say it before. I don't care what you comment. You could comment about whatever the heck you want. Just comment below. I appreciate you guys. You guys rock. Peace.